So you get like this weird alliance between like people who are like pro EU and are like, yay, civil rights, and we're pro LGBT and stuff like that, and like hardcore nationalists with a healthy side of Nazis.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. It's like it's nationalism, right? And especially now, like those differences right now matter less. Like when I was writing the article, one of the editors is Russian anti-Putin, and I spoke to a bunch of Ukrainian people during it too. And what they told me is, yes, Azov was Nazi. Nowadays, they have apparently a lot less Nazis.
Okay.
Apparently, there've been reports, right? Like there've been people sent in. It's not that it's not heavily Nazi still, right? Like Azov is still like there was just a video they posted of them like greasing their bullets with pig fat.
Yeah, for the Chechens.
Yeah, they definitely don't wear the black sun on every fucking
they wear the black sun, yeah. But a lot of people in Azov nowadays aren't necessarily Nazis. They're just strong Ukrainian nationalists. Yeah. Because again, what you mentioned, enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Yeah. Like right now, anyone who's fighting Russia and you like this is a war for their survival of their goddamn country, right? 100%. They're getting shelled. Like it doesn't matter. Even if I don't know, the Chinese started like shelling Miami tomorrow, right? I would have no qualms about getting in the back of a pickup truck with a Confederate flag and like those are my homies now until we get rid of the Chinese yoke, right? So that's to make it clear. I think that's sort of the alliance that's going on.
100%. 100%. I'm not here to judge.
I mean, would you?
Yeah. No, dude, there would be no questions. Like anyone that would help me with the destruction of an invader, like they're my friend.
Exactly.
And like, so I'm making jokes, but I do have another. What the fuck is the black sun? I missed that. I'm not sure what that is.
The black sun is it was stolen from an ancient pagan symbol. And it's based off of a design that I think Goering had.
Oh no!
In tile in one of his estates.
Oh yeah, the weird tile
in the Alps.
Dude, the Nazis are so fruity, man.
They're fucking crazy. It's either Goering or it was Himmler. I'll look it up, but it's one of the two.
Dude, the Nazis are so fruity. It's like, we found the ancient pagan butterfly buried underneath, Hildegard's wisps. Like they have like a bunch of these like pageantry, man.
They were, but they were also like reading the rise and fall of the Third Reich. Like I didn't realize how bad, like you 6 million people fucking, but when you start getting into like what they actually did, that they actually created an economy out of like the Zyklon B, whatever they gas them with. And then also like they were selling fucking the fertilizer from all of the cremated bodies. And so like, dude, don't
forget the soap.
It's super fucked. Read that at some point.
Don't forget the soap too.
Oh yeah. They made soap. They made soap out of human fat, dude. Leather out of skin. All true. I did not read all the
black sun. It was in Himmler's castle.
Yeah, talking about interesting. You mentioned the rise and fall, and I was talking about how fruity the Nazis were. William Scherer devotes like a portion of the book early on. You know, the book was written in its time to talk about how gay the Nazis were. His words. He's like the Nazis were homosexual degenerates. They were. You remember this part?
Yes, I do. I was like, what? They were homosexual
just like gay clubbers. They were just high on meth.
Yeah, the gay right winger. That's one of the. Yes. There were a bunch of little Milo Yiannopoulos running around.
They were log cabin Nazis.
Full of moral depravity and homosexuality. The Nazis. Yeah, I was just like, man.
I was like, damn, dude, this dude really hates the Nazis or the gays. God,
dude. But I mean, have you read that?
Yeah. That's why I mentioned it.
Oh yeah, my goodness! Like that back just was.
It's a hell of a book.
It's an incredible history, man. Good. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah. Really so back to the away from the fruity Nazis, back to Ukraine.
We're back on.
So yeah, I mean these Nazis are fruity too, right? Actually, no. I think Slavic Nazis are scary, man. They're all like skinheads and like Slavics are already like the scariest type of white people. You add like Nazism on that. Like the scariest type of white people are Slavic people or Chechens.
Dog, 100%. Oh, Dagestanis as
dude,
well.
Any of those like UFC champions?
Kyrgyzstan. I want nothing to fucking do with any. If you're Kyrgyzstan, Dagestan, Chechnya, anyone from the Caucasus.
Yeah, anyone who like grows up like lifting logs in a mountain and
fighting bears.
Yeah, praying 13 times a day. There's just something very potent about the combination of like Islam and Eastern European white people. It scares the shit out of me.
If you have a beard,
fighters nowadays.
Yeah, if you can grow a beard when you're 10, fuck you.
The Azov is scared shitless of the Chechens because like those two groups have beef.
I do want to get into the because when this thing went down, and we're gonna sidebar this, but when this thing went down and they're like the fucking Chechens are coming, and then I got all into their propaganda, and they're just these massive human beings with massive beard.
Their president is a warlord. That's the hilarious part. Their president was like the leader of the militia of the ex-president who, after his dad died, became a warlord, and he was an Instagram star.
Wait, no, is that Chechnya or is that?
That's Chechnya.
Is it Chechnya? Because he has a UFC organization too, a mix. Will you Google fucking Eastern European UFC or not UFC mixed martial arts dictator? Let's see what that pops up. We're way in the weeds here. Sorry.
Are you thinking of Ramzan Kadyrov?
Yes. Where is he from?
That's a Chechen.
Oh no shit, dude! I didn't know that was Chechnya.
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah, so those two groups have beef, as you can probably guess. The neo-Nazis don't like the Muslims a lot, and vice versa.
Yeah, 100%. But okay, we're back on. Where were we?
So the militias start forming, right? They got funny names. They form on both sides, and so on one side is the Ukrainian army, now getting a shit ton of money from the West and rearming itself, and their funny paramilitary. Well, not funny. They're paramilitaries. And on the other side is originally the paramilitaries with a bunch of Russian adventurers, and then the Russian army itself. Because of course the Ukrainian army beats back the militias all the way to the border, and then Russia supports them and invades and beats back the Ukrainian army. I think with like paratroopers, but putting paratroopers behind them, and they kick them back to their zone. Now I want to make something clear: not all of the Donbas region left along with Donetsk and Luhansk. Those are just like, big areas, but like a bunch of the Donbas region, like Mariupol and like other cities, Mariupol, within like a week of the original referendums, which are like, we're independent republics, they passed their own referendum and returned to Ukraine. And now these cities are like the ones that have been punished most heavily by the Russian bombing campaigns. And so from 2014 to today, what you have is like this back and forth war that at some point sort of becomes like World War I, with like trenches, and the trenches represent like division borders, and they move a little bit here and they move a little bit there, but they're stable. And like the Ukrainian side is constantly shelling the rebel cities. They've tried to reach several agreements, Minsk 1 and Minsk 2. Minsk 1 fell apart instantly. Minsk 2 has a bunch of points, which says that eventually, it says that the Ukraine has to move toward a more decentralized, federalized structure of government, and that Donetsk and Luhansk will have like their own independent like privileges and stuff like that. But nobody exactly knows what those will be, right? Like they haven't ironed anything out. And Ukraine insists, okay, before we do anything, we have to have our borders back. And these regions insist, okay, no, you're not getting the borders back until we agree to something definite. And even then, there have been internal emails leaked from them that say that they intend to resist any rule from the capital. So like it's like it hasn't made them friends, No. Like getting your city shelled from 2014 to 2022 hasn't made you any friendlier to the other side. Battling on other sides. And so these places started sort of becoming like states, right? Like their militias now are more like armies. They've received armaments from Russia. So it was a civil war, that Russia had to step into to keep one side from losing, but it was a civil war. And it was a civil war that's been ongoing until now, until Putin made, all his best claims, historical, economic, NATO, blah, 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 and decided, okay, I'm invading. I'm recognizing these two as independent Russian republics, and more likely than not, they are Russian puppets, more or less.